Tom Martin, stories from the 78 from the Color Factory here at Willis Tower. And I'm inside the urban food hall that they have here. It's kind of this beautiful atrium, so check it out, look at behind me. So the Color Factory is actually 2 floors beneath us. You go down, and it's also where you go to the sky deck if you want to go to the sky deck, and the Color Factory goes downstairs. But I'm inside this beautiful food hall here that they have called the Catalog, where you come inside and you look up, and there it is, the top of the Willis Tower, or if you're from Chicago and you've been from Chicago for a long time, affectionately known as the Sears Tower. Right, Lucy? Lucy says Sears Tower. So I'm going to talk to Trish all about what it is like to go to the Color Factory and really expand on this immersive experience. That is the story from this 78 here at Willis Tower / the Color Factory. All right, so we're in Paint the Town Green here at the Color Factory, which effectively is known as also the ball pit, because that's the star of the show, the true grand finale, right, Trish?
Yes, it is. So everybody loves the ball pit. We have 2 slides. We have a surprise over here where you can get Chicago-themed keepsakes that are one of a kind to Color Factory. And down at the end, we have a sweet. So for Colors in Bloom, we have 2 ice cream flavors. Our Winter Melon, which is a sweet honeydew that's themed after the Malona ice cream from South Korea. And then we have Mango Tango to tie back to Colors in Bloom that's here for the season.
And so when you come here, this is on the 2nd floor when you walk into the Willis Tower in the new food space, right? What's the food space called?
So it is called Catalog. Catalog you can access off of Jackson Avenue. We are all the way in the back at the elevators. Take the elevators or the escalators down to lower level 2, and we'll be on the left-hand side.
So what is this space for people who are looking up things to do with their family? It's spring break time. A lot of families might be staying home if they're from Chicago or making the trip to Chicago. What's the experience of the Color Factory?
Yeah, so we want to be an immersive experience for everyone. So as you move through, there's about 12 exhibits where you get to explore color through all 5 senses. And what's really cool is that most of the exhibits are partnered with an actual artist, so you get to learn more about the intention behind the room as opposed to just looking at something cool or taking a pretty Instagram photo.
Right.
And so you can move through as fast or as slow as you want. So if you wanted to move through in 45 minutes, that's fine. But if you wanted to stay for a couple hours, that's fine too.
Yeah, I love the room where you're tasting the different pop rocks.
Flavorama, yes.
Yes.
So that room's by Emily Baltz, and her theory was if you see colors, does it impact the flavors as you're tasting them? So it's kind of like a crazy little taste test to see how good your taste buds are and if your brain deceives you.
Yeah, very fun. And then you go to that other room where you're sitting down in headphones and you have your partner with you and you kind of do this thing together, right?
Yes, so Complimentary Compliments is one of the exhibits at all 3 venues along with the ball pit and confetti, and so that ties back to one of our core values as a company of human connection, because you get to interact and engage with someone in a way you wouldn't normally. Sometimes you can do it with a stranger, so it's a neat way to see someone for the first time, but it's also a good way to get a fresh perspective on someone you already know.
Yeah, and it's very interactive space here, just because you get to experience things, taste things. You have the pop rocks, you have the candy that's in the confetti room, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And that's very cool because it's themed after the Chicago flag.
Oh my gosh, yes. So when we're outside of Colors in Bloom, the confetti too is also red, white, and blue to match the flag. So it feels very on brand for Chicago, which is awesome. And then the confetti rooms are slightly different in New York and Houston, just to tie back to their cities as well.
Yeah, and then the other really cool, I mean, they're all really cool spaces, but the forest that you talk about. Explain the artist and what she has to then show you the experience that she sees it in.
Of course. So it's by an artist named Ann Patterson. She has this condition called sound to color synesthesia. So when she hears sound, she sees color. And so the soundtrack that's made for the room, when she hears that, she sees all those beautiful blues and greens and purples and then those silver grays as you move through towards the back. So she created a beautiful forest, one inspired by the music, but two also inspired by the colors that she sees. So you're kind of invited in to get a glimpse of what her life is like.
So much fun. And then you end up here, we talked about this room that is all green, but even there's some remnants because we are in the OG area of like the sky deck when it was the Sears Tower. This is like the OG room. So you have some of the artwork painted on some of the materials from that room.
Yes, so this was the original Sears Tower lobby way back in the day. And so we have their original travertine tile up here on our mural called Walk With Me by Adrian K. Wong. Adrian is a graduate of the School of the Art Institute of Chicago, so one of the prestigious art schools here locally. And he crafted us this mural depicting all the great things about Chicago that help make the city green, and that's why we picked this color for the ball pit. And that tile is that original travertine, if I hadn't said that already, which I think is just a cool tie back.
I think it's great. And then this is a spot where kids can really work off some of the candy they've had.
Oh my gosh, yes. Kids
Parents
love it in here.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't want to leave and there's a little bit of a meltdown, but the ice cream at the end works as like a good kind
It's a good incentive to get them off.
Yeah, a good decoy from the tears.
So for people who want to come by here, should they buy book tickets in advance? Where should they
So
go to do
you
that?
can do either or. You can buy in advance on colorfactory.co, our website, under the Chicago tab, or you can buy on site. We do recommend booking in advance just because we only sell 34 tickets per time slot. So it's possible when you're at home, the tickets could be available, but since they sell in real time, when you show up on site, they could be sold out and you may have to wait.
Very cool. Trish, thanks a lot for walking us around. My kids have been here with us today. They're having a great time. I think I've lost them in the ball pit, but that's fine. That's the whole point of this.
Definitely.
So thank you very much. That is the stories from the 78 here at the Color Factory. In the what do we say? Is the basement of Willis Tower, basement of catalog? What do we call it?
Lower level of catalog.
Lower level of catalog. TomBarneyChicago@gmail.com or storiesfromthe78.com. That's the website. Thanks again, Trish. Come by and see her and say hi.
Bye.
We'll see you guys later.